For Xie, that's the pick he wants to. We've already seen his LeBlanc, I believe, into this matchup. Now going to take a different champion.
I mean, LeBlanc was available, and they didn't elect for it here. Another teleport user in the mid lane that can answer the Zoe and potentially gap close and get a lot of damage in there. I think it's all about being able to close the distance and also work with the jungle ganks, so Sejuani and Kassadin. Also important note, the Kassadin is a melee champion, so we'll be able to proc the passive from the Sejuani that much faster for the CC, so still going to be plenty of mid lane focus. Don't you mistake it on the side of China.
Like I said, if there is a way to get mid at level 2, MLXG probably knows the path as Braum banned away again by China, actually. Taking that one away from Gorilla once more. Shen, a support, certainly can be flexed, but also a strong champion for 957 there in the top lane. Also going to meet the ban list once more.
At some point, if you have Sejuani, Shen, and Kassadin running around with globals aplenty, you might be a little bit too pressured in the side lanes. And remember, game one was a story of side laners being assassinated left, right, and center, not by a Karsa Kha'Zix, but by Mako and all the other pick tools that China had. Camille being banned as well does suggest a first pick Gnar in the second round on the red side. So we'll see if there's a ban here or whether Korea has something else in mind.
One more to go. And it is now actually banned away, so nice read there on the draft Papa. China now considering what they want to take. Probably don't want to take AD, maybe keep the bot lane a little bit ambiguous, but we'll see if 957 feels like blinding a matchup here as well. Some good flexibility with how the texture of this draft has played out.
Following that logic, it's top or support. The Gnar would have been perfect because you can blind pick it and then go for the flex, but they're just going to go for the support. Confirm that it will be Uzi on the Misfortune 80 carrion. Sort of a bot laner here in the Leona that can shut down Jhin from range with the ultimate.
Maybe Tarek here for Gorilla. I love this pick for so many different reasons. We'll see if he does want to play it, and of course Cuvée will need a champion as well. Looks like Tarek is locked in.
Right. Gorilla has gone on record and said that he has to go for the melee supports because he doesn't expect any help from his junglers. He doesn't want to go for a ranged support and just be ganked to play. We saw his attempt at Karma at Worlds be crushed time and time again. And Cuvée, before he was a carry, was one of those trees in the top lane, so he'll just stick with the Maokai. And we might actually see the return of a pick that's been absent for a long time.
Maybe 957 perhaps running out of creative counter picks here in top lane as Mako has hovered that Cho'Gath.
Very solid lane into the Maokai. Will just be a farm lane though, and it will be locked in. So first Cho'Gath of recent memory, first of All-Star, broken out in this game. So it's going to be a lot about Xie on this Kassadin. Already had a massive Kassadin game in the group stage a couple of days ago, and try and recreate that here. And post level 6, the ability to very instantly proc the permafrost from the Sejuani means that Faker's life gets no less tricky in this game.
Certainly a shift though for both sides here. I think Faker set to carry a game if you can find an advantage.
I want to note that Korea's lineup is very low on damage. It's pick damage only. Deletion from Zoe and Jhin is a possibility, but I usually prefer something like Jhin Azir, where you have a consistent damage mid laner to complement the burst that the Jhin can put out. So certain timing, certain windows, 2 items, just like in the previous game, I think you can do a lot of work. But after that, your consistent damage options go down, and teamfight victories are no guarantee for the side of Korea.
Certainly not, given how proficient China as a region has been at them. The world's frontline, like you said, has also made a return, so it's going to be tough to crack through that with all your poke. Also, again, looking to a much more fun bot lane. Double, somewhat aggressive melee support. I think Mako is going to have the initiative as far as aggression goes, but 2 very good lethality AD carries going to battle, and Misfortune does not get through often. We'll see if Uzi can show us why.
And then Zoe. Faker's Zoe.
That one gets through even less often.
Exactly, and I think that will continue to be the trend. So powerful on patch 723. You start snowballing, you can recreate some of those other Zoes we've had pastry time and still pick up the victory, but snowball hasn't really been the story for Korea.
Certainly has not, but if you're going to go down, might as well go down swinging. I'm expecting some highlights here, and even though I think the general favorites are on China, no one will be upset to see a third game between these two teams. So let's see what Game 2 has in store as the Korean All-Stars move out onto the Rift for the second time in the series.
Snapshot in time, December 2017, that we get to see kind of the best players in the world in this particular configuration that so far hasn't captured the imagination like we expected the Korean team, but this one certainly could snowball very, very hard, and there's a bit more comfort here for Prey, especially a good Kalista player, but wasn't really about the Kalista in game one. It can be all about the Jhin if Korea get a couple of early kills and start some snowball.
Well, again, very defensive spread for both these teams. Certainly curious to see what MLXG does with his jungle route, though. Expecting a bit more aggression. And Ambition actually has Electrocute, which is sort of interesting. Much more aggressive from him. Normally see him on with a much more defensive Keystone rune.
It's just reading the matchup and saying, okay, we do have some pushing lanes, we do have some decent spots to actually try to play aggressively. You almost never see Electrocute on the Gragas. Usually it's a Jarvan or a Rengar that's going to be running that particular mastery, but can proc it fairly easily. And it says to me that he wants to play on the front foot, which is something we're not often given from Ambition. It kind of goes up or down, and he's needed to be a big playmaker in the early game, because like we've said, it reaches a point where Korea tries to look for poke, look for a pick against 3 tanks in the front line. Leona, a tank in her own right, and Cho'Gath and Sejuani, super tanks. So you need to start early if you're Korea.
Certainly do, and has started early with a fat leash with the full shot from Jhin. Smiteless on the for Ambition, who's now stopping by at the Wolf Camp. Comets are plenty though. Don't worry, we'll see plenty of those in the bot lane.
Was never under any doubt.
No, not at all. I did love the LMS game earlier. We had 2 Aftershocks and 3 Comets. I'm like, these guys know what's going on.
Hey man, they're reading patch notes. Can't really swing your finger against them too much. Nice little trade here. So the action going to be pretty even between these two. It's usually when you hit level 2 on the Leona. The flare starts. Note that Mako is running Ignite, so looking for the all-in, but going to be zoned off here for the start of the laning phase.
Yep, Comet hits Mako. Uzi can eat a W by the looks of things. Ambition looking topside. I've seen this trick, but usually on the opposite side. 957 might have seen it too. Flashes out of the way, but still gets rooted. Ambition follows up, but that was actually a nice flash from 957.
Not sure if there was complete synergy there between the 2 Samsung members. Cuvée invested his flash, and maybe that was just the thought that, okay, I'll flash first, you can hold your flash to afterwards, but the body slam is then on cooldown. Doesn't mean it's going to run out of damage. They need to hit everything there and then Electrocute proc and still get a bit lucky to take down a Cho'Gath, who is very, very tanky early in the game, so nothing gained there, and flash down on both top laners.
Yep, Smite battle won by Ambition. He was the one that had it, so not too difficult over the Scuttle Crab. And back here in the bot lane, there's a balloon and that melee minion, but I don't think Faker's going to make his way down there to get the summoner. Instead, it'll just represent some of the party attitude there in the 2v2s. MLXG is still suspicious of Ambition. Now going to know where he is. Blast Cone, yep, goodbye.
Interrupted, so doesn't get the full disengage, but nothing going to be gained from that.
Surprising everyone though, MLXG still checking the opposition jungle, and now in mid lane. Very unpredictable here. Teleport back to that mid. GA actually going to do that pretty early to get back to his land, and MLXG is going to zone Faker off a bit here.
Also a bit about minions. Probably wants to get a very favorable minion wave position as bot lane.
Yep. Engage there from Mako. Stun not going to hit. Mako actually walked past it as Uzi is looking for the kill onto Prey, but now Gorilla under siege. Root there lands, but Prey taking so much damage from the MF. A one trade there. Nice engage from Mako.
Yeah, Mako was able to maximize damage, even get some extra orders. No fervor of battle, Ignar style, of course, any longer, but hits everything, sidesteps the stun coming through there. Here we go.
Another one there. Prey getting ignited. Dazzle's going to land, but first blood over to Uzi. Mako going to live under the turret as well. And Gorilla, he's going to get down the double up lands. The Comet does not follow, but a great gank there by Sejuani.
And Mako playing the game of chicken in this case. Korea pushed forward, said, "It's no way you're going to take us down. You're so low in health." Great synergy between Mako and MLXG. Not teammates usually, but on this day, very, very clean, and here we go. Trying to get it rolling in the bot lane.
And where they want it as well, Uzi gonna collect that delicious extra gold. And Prey, despite having summoners, did not have much hope here.
I mean, the flash timing on Prey, half a second too late. Really nice stuff there. Could have been less greedy with his flash, but waited to see the animation. Got the bad news and went down for first blood.
Serrated Zerk up for Uzi as well, so well spent early gold that he was gifted as Faker has a Gunblade here in mid lane. Level 5 clears the caster creeps out from the back, and Shie, he's just backing off. Ruby Crystal, Null Magic Mantle does not want to be held down by this Zoe, and Faker has had a lot more pressure in this matchup.
It's going to be running into the lost chapter, you'd imagine. It's a Sapphire Crystal. It's not the ideal first buy, but showing respect with the boots this early. Usually it would be rushing towards something like an Anthem. So just been a gold value thing. Talked about the ability to proc that passive fast if you get into melee range, and yeah, almost at the level 6 mark to make that possible.
Yep, should certainly make the lane a lot easier, and given the CS deficit is very small between these two. I think she is happy with how it's going. Gets Drowsy, buffers out there with a blink in front of a minion, but Faker there with a bit of AoE, able to still land it. Dodges out from under the Force Pulse as well. I mean, of course he does. He's Faker.
You can see there's a lot of options, though, when Cassidy is hit by the bubble, is able to buffer out his R. He also has a magic damage shield. Some trading topside. Cho'Gath usually does very well in this matchup, it should be noted.
Definitely helps when you're up a level and have your ultimate, but not enough health down. Silence lands, but no follow-up from 957. Running a little low on mana at this stage.
It's Cho'Gath, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he will.
She jungling topside.
Entertaining a dive, perhaps.
Beast available, but for now, he's optimistic to make any more happen as Ambition gets the bad news.
Yep, he's lost some camps and it's going to lose one more here. Although maybe not, actually, as a collapse happens. 957 out in the area. Ambition walks the wrong way to check it, though. Now level 5 for MLXG. QV, again, still a bit vulnerable. Has the ultimate, but damage back here from the sapling after the arcane smash is nice. MLXG, no chance there to really win, despite the 2v2.
Return to normalcy in the laning phase, and nothing gained there on either side as we see the freeze, I should say, held in the bot lane for Prey as he comes back in. Only now able to manage to get his own serrated Dirk to match the one that came through from Uzi earlier.
Some biscuits being delivered as well, so Prey again just trying to hold on in what is a very aggressive 2v2 lane. The poke does hurt from the Comet, but if you don't get all in, things generally go well. Unfortunately, that's what happened for that first blood, but things are settling down here as Faker, long-range bubble, puts Mako to sleep, but follow-up Brute, that is actually dirty.
You definitely see the synergy, but the verbiage you're using, things like hold on, it's not something that Korea can do with a draft like this. They need to be making more of those plays. Seeing another bubble hit.
Chia making his own. Again, Blinks do double duty here in the matchup. You can blink out once you get bubbled and try and get to safety, or blink in to try and get aggressive. Zoe, that poke champ, doesn't really do too much in melee range. Faker though, plopping over. Bubble not going to quite land. And Chia steals a blue buff. MLXG prepared earlier.
And it was, as you say, a macro move that was prepared in advance with the vision advantage and the vision invasion we saw just a couple of minutes ago. So able to take away the blue buff, stop Faker doing as much fishing. Should be noted, the mana cost still very, very low on the side of Zoe. She's still going to have plenty of laning options and use her paddle star pretty freely. Any advantage you can give a Cassidy, who we have to keep mentioning is going even in CS with a Zoe. Great for the side of China.
Yep, Chia's counterpick working out nicely, but certainly going to need some ramping up time.
And this is the sort of game that I've been waiting for, because we've seen walkover games for Zoe where she's so far ahead, everyone on her team's winning, and it's disgusting the result. Very nice stuff there from Faker. This is the much more even game. I want to see even
Good bubble.
Zoe.
Paddle star, no. Faker knows. Minion wave is there. Little lucky timing there perhaps with Chia, and MLXG is also there, which is a prediction, but a pretty easy one to make most of the time. Yeah, and Victor's about to get done. Might keep going, TP back in, needs to buy a bit more time, but doesn't go. Oh, he does throw it, forces a flash.
Didn't want to trade flash, didn't have his flash up. Importantly, you can see MLXG in that particular, only just gets flash now. Thought he had enough damage. The extra passive procs you can get if you hold on to your spells and time them perfectly leads to more burst damage from a tank than you'd expect. That's the flash out of Ambition. It's more safety for his laners, so objective done for the side of MLXG.
Certainly good. Even steals away another camp here, continuing to invade Ambition. Take away his jungle. Uzi currently alone in the bot lane. With Mako on her back, but ripping back down with Moby Boots shouldn't be too far away.
There's no blue ward in the brush. It's a bit of a Schrodinger's Leona situation here, where no one wants to face check, so they can't necessarily push up and be too aggressive.
Again, Uzi's landing phase going well. Got the first blood. 10 CS ahead here. Although, again, can't play up as much now with Mako back here. Also, with the ultimate ready for Leona, able to play a lot more aggressive. Comet there from Prey after the W, though, is nice.
Moby Boots, even in lane, are actually pretty big for the Leona, because it means the solar flare positioning is going to be more reliable. It's going to be more on point. It can be behind the carry rather than max range from in a brush with no mobility. So happy times here for the China bot lane.
Like the Merc treads there from Xie again, respecting there.
Seeing a lot of confidence from the side of Uzi, which as a player we know, but maxing Q at the competitive level has been a bit dissenting. I was talking to Reckless, who was saying that trying to max Q and actually hit it reliably is so unlikely that you just go for E and hope for the comet pokes. But even against Prey and Gorilla, Uzi trusting in his own regard and going for the Q, and we saw 2 already on screen to get a bit of lane control.
It looks good when you land, and Bubble is wonderful from Faker, but again, another Rift Walk by Xie, able to get out Wild Drowsy. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot, because that's kind of the matchup here, but Faker continuing to apply that pressure. Ghost actually looking for a dive. Does he have friends? No, actually asleep now, but Xie has friends. Faker still trying to get out there, but going to get locked up. Portal jump now, back to the same spot. Xie! Rift Walks for the kill, and now hell is unleashed here in the bot lane, but Uzi's ulti a deterrent, but not much of one. Double up Lance, Comet going to follow.
I like a bit of frustration from the side of Faker trying to make a play with no coverage of his own. Sejuani was there. He got the first kill, and we've seen this a couple of times already.
At it again. Ooh, damage boosted forward. Ambition gonna get stunned up. MLXG is just being a pest. Might be more than that though, but Xie recalling instead of diving. MLXG even poking between 2 turrets.
It's not often that the Guardian tank jungler is effectively turret diving the electrocute tank jungler. That's a bit of a head scratcher, but that's just MLXG things in this game too.
Might even extend that to bot side here. This is a pretty
cavalry
3v2. Mako finds a great ult from Gorilla. Not going to die in the duration. They're going to have to wait it out. But again, MLXG is still unknowing. Gorilla burns a flash, nails Prey with the ultimate there, and now the flash forward. MLXG gets a well-deserved kill. Ambition back to the bot side, but Uzi with MLXG body blocking flashes out of the way.
Once again, we see so much proactivity from China. They knew that Gragas would be there second because he just chased him out of his own jungle. Moby Boots Leona closed the gap as well. He may be doing a lot of damage to 957, but I find it unlikely he'll be able to take him down. But it's so coordinated from China. These are the sort of things that show you the benefit of the boot camp of 2.5 weeks, because even though we said already it's 2 teams, it's 3 teams represented, 2 duos, and the mid laner Faker, China are on point in ways that Korea can't match.
And so smart here again. Just go for the 2v2, forcing a flash to MLXG.
I mean, MLXG doesn't get involved early because he's waiting out the duration of the Cosmic Radiance. Whichever target hits his ult on, he trusts the damage of his carries. Ambition is their second. Realistically, nothing he'll be able to do, and the advantages multiply for China.
MLXG, though, protecting his teammate. Actually, watching their back, looks like Uzi didn't even need to flash, but did so just for some safety. Great play there overall, and a good bit of patience from MLXG. Nets him almost 2 kills there on the bot side as Uzi still ramping up. Ghostblade done. 3 kills to nothing there on the side of the Chinese All-Stars, and they're up 1,500 gold. And this is the team we say could afford to fall a little bit behind. Redemption in the mid lane there. I'm assuming that was Zoe's. MLXG was looking back in. She is still diving, a little out of mana though. And we'll call it off. Faker just missing the extension on that paddle star.
Skill shot accuracy on the Trouble Bubble, certainly worth complimenting, but not in kill range in any of these moments. We are seeing what I was mentioning earlier, though. The more close in terms of levels and items Zoe is bot lane MLXG. Set up a tent a couple of times this game.
Yep, back ready to go. Prey still with a flash. Use it in the dive. Died before it was relevant. MLXG is being patient, and this minion wave's coming. Kassadin coming down as well. And they're backing off.
Could be 5 members. Ult here mostly for wave clear. They don't want to lose first turret of the game, but certainly no one in kill range for Prey.
Yep, you can see all the block. Nice little scrum created there from Mako and MLXG.
A rugby reference, I like it.
A little route though into Mako could be problems. Actually took turret aggro. Uzi though! Oh my goodness, Gorilla dies. Prey dead as well to MLXG. Now he's going to be a kill, but Uzi actually gets rooted on the other side as Faker and Kube join in on the action. Damage still there as Xie. Look for that reset at 957. Eats Ambition. And Xie still chasing. Portal jump there from Faker trying to buy some time as he nails the bubble. Buffers through. Gets the give up. Faker finds the assassination. And now it's Kube trying to buy Faker with no help. Does get the extra kill. Kube will grab it instead. But that was a great turnaround from Korea.
Very aggressive move from China, but this time Korea is in position. When Cuvée teleports down, his bot lane is already dead. There was a double kill before the cats even registered from the ultimate there for the Maokai. We're going to see the replay. China feels strong enough to turret dive, because there's already 2 effective super tanks for the early game involved. By the time Cubase comes in, you think it's too late, this can't work, but they get Misfortune on the turret. She's dead, so that means that Kassadin's the only big damage dealer This is some very nice skill shot accuracy for Fake.
Yeah.
Tracking it here, drowsy as he went in. We've seen a lot of buffered defensive use of the Rift Walk. This was actually buffered offensive use. Leads to his own demise. They take down the Cho'Gath as well. Doesn't necessarily reset the game, but important kills for Korea.
Certainly was, and that was not forced at all. There was an option to get out of the way after the first part of the dive went pretty well, but there was no going back after that. And a swap here from the duo is going to give them a turret trade. Teleport as well from Faker. Looks like he stole that one also. 957 in trouble, getting drowsy. Picked off there by the root into the stun, and I don't care how tank you are, you're not going to walk out of that CC chain. Prey finishes that off.
Able to get the kill confirmation there. They're looking to look for a second turret as well. Now it's Korea trying to increase the pace of the game. That benefited China in game one. And this game, with their comp, it benefits them.
Ooh.
Ambition.
Here trying to block, but too much damage. Oh, the chip bullet, not enough. Great ult as well from MLXG to defend himself, but Kuve finds a kill instead. Xie now diving back in, but he's only got Kuve as the closest target.
Gotta be loss minimization from China. They're still looking for scraps, outnumbered against a comp that is hitting their 1 and 2 item power spikes. Youmuu's and Morellonomicon complete. They looked for a second turret there, did Korea. China thought they could head that off. They are able to, but an extra kill credit to the side of Korea.
Yep, cost them a few more lives. Gold evens right back up after that from the Korean side. And in fact, Rift Herald will also go over MLXG being back in the base. So you have to think the expected value of that is one more turret with a bit more gold, and of course that turret lead to themselves. Ambition going to finish that off, and it's time for a reset. A very productive 2 minutes or so.
It needs to continue. Now, this needs to be a game that Korea finds a 5,000 to 10,000 gold lead pre-30 minutes. From 30 minutes onwards, you kind of shudder at the possibilities from the side of China. It's not like there's a landslide scaling advantage, but certainly a lot of more options for China. But the push from the Kassadin as there's another paddle star hitting.
Yep, Faker chunking Uzi to about 50% health. Certainly getting stronger as Faker had a bonus flat ready to go. Able to head off that potential gank. Ocean Drake is up. Looks like the pings are pretty aggressive there from the Chinese side, so they'll look to take that for themselves.
Late first streak of the game, 17 minutes. There's been other priorities we saw from the multiple turret dives already this game. So Ocean Drake complete. No chance of a contest from Korea. With Prey wave clearing in the top side. Returning to the scene of the crime and getting more turrets top side, and potentially a 20-minute Baron seems to be more of the speed here for Korea.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned they do have to push the pace, but Chinese All-Stars should have a pretty good way to extend this game using the sideline pressure from 957 and Xie. Teleport mid laner here, already pressuring 1v1 versus Kuve, and Prey is playing very far up, but he's got defenses here as they're going to try and finish off that turret without using that Rift Herald.
Splitting the map evenly is probably what China wants to do. They're happy to just take objectives elsewhere and opt out of the strongest point of the game for Korea. The Dirk items completed for the side of Prey. They do own the top red side jungle of China, do Korea, and as we said, as the Baron starts to spawn, it does become a bit of a headache for China to deal with. Looking for picks is Faker, predictably on the Zoe, but for now, just a very defensive formation.
Yeah, got to break the game open a little bit more to try and get that snowball. Ultimate from Mako hits Ambition.
And interrupts it.
That wants one to go. Kuve wrapping around. That's going to be enough here. Uzi should fall in the front as Gorilla gets it. Stun there in onto Prey from MLXG. Nice ult, but a little late.
Very lazy use of the Rift Herald. Gets it interrupted. It's still going to get the turret, but could have gotten more here had Korea if it was a bit safer from Ambition. So good knowledge by Mako, but it meant they didn't have the ultimate available. Uzi goes down, and they're looking for 2 turrets anyway.
Nice time from Mako, but they are going to keep going here. Still Uzi down for 15 seconds. Waveplay not really there with the Kassadin. So Korea should be able to take this. Faker just constantly throwing paddle stars into the middle of the map. And there is going to be 3 turrets to 1 now.
If you ask Ambition, it was a bait. They'll say it was just a bait. They still got the 2 turrets. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But apart from that, Korea get the advantage they're looking for. 2 turrets in the mid lane. Suddenly now, even with a fairly slow Baron team, at the end of the day, it's not an auto-attack AD carry with a Blade of the Ruin King. It's not as much consistent damage in the mid lane. Baron threat starts to extend with such long lanes in top and mid lane. As we know, when you're channeling the Rift Herald, you can be cancelled by any form of CC. With Cube with the nice spike, something had to give. Uzi goes down, and on the back end, 2 turrets is a nice win for Korea.
Certainly is. Now Faker actually popping up to the side lane should be able to smash this minion wave down pretty quickly as a Proto Bear on the ground to pick up if he wants it. We'll just have to see exactly what he opts for. Again, just clearing this out, getting that pressure down, burns the free flash and picks up the belt.
I'm never going to not first fail flash or fat finger flash before I realize that it's just Zoe using her extra flash.
I did learn recently that the game actually protects you from messing up if you have 2 flashes. If you have a flash stored and you hit D, which is my flash key, and that should be everyone's flash key, you use your stored flash, not your actual flash. So the game even protects you from being silly.
I always appreciate a little bit of extra insurance to not go for the fail flash. That's good to know, patient time.
There you go. That's my fun Zoe fact of the day. As Infernal Drake is the next one. Maybe China can find something there as they look to push this game later and later. And the gold lead again, certainly not untenable. Less than 2,000 gold between the two squads. Kassadin now with a Lich Bane scaling up.
Really interested to see if Korea can cement the advantages around this head. This is the stuff they prepped earlier. They're still pushing forward. Now, buff does go to China, but...
Ooh, that could be actually a CC chain. Very nice. Tries to buffer out with his interplay, but can't quite do it. Still damages there as Praise firing away from the other side. Kuve got flanked by the carries, but I don't think that matters too much here. MLXG looking to get tagged, but now 957's been caught. He's going to get stunned out. Uzi with a great off, but Ambition cancels it with the cast. It's just mayhem here. Shie does actually assassinate Prey, but the root lands in onto Uzi. Kuve there follows up with a twisted advance of Shie. Is trying to tie it all together, but now he can't quite get it. Rooted again. There is Kuve, looks to finally chase. Faker looking for the paddle style, lands the long range bubble. There's the start, gets the assassination. And that's going to be a team fight win for the Korean All-Stars.
Different type of pick city, but it's working because of Faker's accuracy. They're looking for this mid lane inhibitor turret as well. All the damage is down from China. They just have 2 tanks with some wave clear, but they just can't walk up.
Don't think they can. Too much here as Faker should have enough damage to poke them out of the way. They'll break the turret, but leave the inhibitor alone. Don't want to overreach here.
We were looking at a game where no turrets had gone down, inner or inhibitor, at 22 minutes. You would already be thinking about a China 2-0, but they've been able here, Korea, to accelerate the game, much like China did in the previous game. China opting into fights where Korea can actually still win them. It was a nice flank from Cube to start this all up. Xie and Uzi are out of the fight for a lot of it. It means that even though the tanks are putting their life on the line using CC, there's not a lot of damage as the fight goes on, even though they got the pick on Prey.
Uzi ended up out of position at the end of that fight, and all too easy to pick him off. G8 falls quickly after.
I mean, getting into position when you're playing in an area that you know the enemy has had time and time again to put down wards is hard. You lost out so many auto attacks from Uzi. So much, the bullet time was instantly cancelled by Gragas. You saw Ambition hold onto that cooldown on his signature jungle pick. He's not able to really put out the damage they need here specifically, even though Misfortune and Kassadin had decent numbers. They need to be putting out big damage because they have an ultra front line that is really there to facilitate Uzi and Xie just being the big stars. It just didn't work in that particular go.
And that graph basically tells you what team fight should look like if one team's going to win versus the other, despite the numbers being similar, like you noted. Not enough or not in the right places, even though Prey did fall. 10 seconds over the Infernal Drake Baron on the table for the first time this game. But again, I don't think China quite have initiative. Gold lead's still close, but Korea playing with a lot of momentum and a lot of map here.
Faker understands what he's facing. No Lich Bane here or something targeted to kill Squish. He's gone for the Void Staff and the Haunting guys. Not even a Leandri's finished yet. Just look for the burst. They need to burst now before the extra items start to roll in. The luxury tank items are the 3 tanks on the side of China. Are we going to be a free Inferno? No, it's not, because China's straight on Baron.
Yeah, not going to be free, but they are going to force Korea's hand. Remember, they have Feast for the Cho'Gath here. Juve already in the area, ready with the ultimate. This looks like a disaster.
You probably have to turn here if you're China. For now, sitting on it, they do have Cho'Gath.
Uzi trying to zone out of the way. They're committing to the Baron here. Mako trying to get Ambition out of the way. MLXG does actually smite it. It's going to be a kill, though. MLXG skirts away, but Prey finds the snipe to get the kill. Korea just need to try and get as many kills as possible as Uzi strutting his stuff up towards that top side. And somehow MLXG secures that in the face of chaos, and he's the only casualty.
China made the read that if they didn't go for the Baron Force, they'd probably be strangled out from the advantages that Korea had gotten. When you have your inhibitor turret down so early in the game, how often can you actually get a vision line down and not get punished in multiple parts of the map? In this case, they go for the burst because they have Cho'Gath has been out the meta so long. It looked a Fiesta, it looked a disaster.
Oh.
They had trust.
He almost stealed it. Actually, he's going to go in for Prey. He's not going to die. No, Uzi actually does get the last laugh on that one, but Faker drilled Xie with a paddle star, but Uzi able to grab the double kill. That was a costly Baron for the Korean team.
Yeah, some bonuses for the side of China. They may pick up the Infernal, but no more. Vision takes a top lane turret. In the face of all this split pushing, thinks he's Karsa, I guess.
Oh, Faker only slept Shogas. Xie still chasing. Ultimate's gonna miss from Leona. Faker pops his cleanse though. Kuve left out to dry perhaps, but he's pretty tanky. Paddle Star does not extend properly there for Faker, but still facing down. Can go for it again, but yeah, just a heal. Unfortunately, can't get anything else as Kuve just gonna die to the ultimates. He's trying to buy time. He's gonna try and kill Uzi, but Uzi is gonna kite his way out to safety. Kuve, though, he lives through it all.
These tanks are comically tanky, but the damage is so low. We're still fighting.
I mean, 957's gonna try something. Carry gonna recall out of the way. Xie here to join in a bit more damage. Kuve looking to get low. I think he got Beast of Mako finds a Zenith Blade Ambition. No, he's the one left alone, but a root there from Prey should find 957 stunned and killed by Ambition.
Very, very messy stuff. Faker out of mana. Prey only just respawning for another pick, but uses last bit of mana on a Paddle Star. They desperately need to recall. That extended so long with the respawns. They were fighting on the side of Korea, so it was going to make sense. They would finally be there. Still largely ends up being trades. There overall, the Baron buff duration you have to mention though, was worn down over the course of that.
Yep, only a minute 20 left as the trend of junglers taking top lane turrets continues. MLXG able to return in kind, taking that out of there in top, and Uzi able to answer in mid for his team. So the turret score getting a little more even. Finally, the map is opened up for them. And they're perhaps their next opportunity. They're ahead in goal ever so slightly, and you said 30 minutes is where you want to look for that kind of 5,000 gold lead on the Korean side. We're 2.5 minutes away and we haven't got there yet.
And that was why my instinct suggests that Xie having the option of being a side lane Kassadin and teleporting in will be trumps. Because even though we talk about there being more consistent damage on the side of China, it's not massive. Misfortune largely about bullet time, especially with the build and the current meta. It's still burst on both sides as the Littering Gustin shows us. There's some more burst.
Good bit of poke, but now the hard engage coming in from China 957. Just throws out a bunch of spells, doesn't grab them. Bubble angle not there for Xie, and everything dissipates for now.
Turret's not that easy for China to pick up 5v5. Only Misfortune is a ranged auto attacker, so short of a pick, they kind of have to push in lanes, play the side lanes, and then reevaluate their options here. They don't have a Baron to return to. That, of course, will spawn in a couple of minutes' time. So just go back to the side lanes, take a deep breath. The next big pick here, which leads to the next Baron. I think the next Baron really will be the sealer on the momentum game of what is now the mid-game truly here in Game 2 of this series.
Well, certainly things have calmed down now that the Baron has faded away. Having a quick check in on inventory. Certainly tanks starting to get a little bulky. MLXG with the Warmugs there. Uzi also able to fell just about any opponent with maximum lethality / armor pen built in now that he's finished Lord Dominance Regards. So certainly getting there. Faker also building his next major item. Looks like Leandri's getting skipped, at least for now. Definitely wanted that early penetration just to try and be as threatening as possible with all that poke. Teamfights have been very, very chaotic. It is weird to see tanks and, like, I guess, a regular teamfighting come from China versus 2 poke champions for your carries and some tanks and a Taric.
Exactly, that's why they're surreal. It's very hard to track the extended fights because it's delayed for so many different reasons. Tanks can just pop out, get some Warmog's health back, come back in. The damage dealers are running out of mana. That's how comically long the fights are going. To me, the only real differentiator is that Kuve has the ability to teleport easier. Is okay, mid lane.
Gorilla not going to go down here. Actually pretty healthy as he heals himself back up. Now going to pop that Cosmic Radiance.
Ends up being a bit of a waste.
China, though, looking to re-engage. Ambition going to get tagged. 957 looking. Oh, Faker portal jump, but he gets away. Now rooted up. Stun's going to land in from that Dazzle. Faker still poking 957. Jin ultimately going to let it rip. Mako going to tank what he can. Kuve there with a great flank, zooming in forward. Mako trying to tie them up on the other side of Xie. He's so late in this fight, but Uzi lets it go with the bullet time. So much damage as Prey. So so low. Faker still lives, but Juve, he's left out to dry.
Interrupt there from Mako on the ultimate from Jin. Ment wasn't able to put out damage. Misfortune got the maximum. They finally want this turret, but it's still not trivial.
Faker again still here. The damage dealer's alive, looking for the bubble angles. Make MLSG drowsy, but 957 gonna silence any follow-up. Root there lands. Faker trying to follow in, but can't quite get there. Uzi still threatening as well.
A 2-for-1 is still not good enough for China to even take an inner turret, let alone an inhibitor turret or an inhibitor. They'll back away. Baron is an easier objective for them to pick up, but they're only inching forward with teamfight victories. They're not getting the famous pick into objective. They're just being able to pick up gold. Gonna see the replay here. Mako the real star. You see the setup from Prey. He's still got tanks in front of him. He should be so safe when he opens up, but Mako walks past damage, interrupts him. No such interrupt for Uzi this time.
And again, ties the rest of it together. Just a great run from 957, and Uzi knows that's the go button.
He's under no threat. He's able to open up and put out damage, but the 2-for-1 doesn't mean that the inner turret goes down because it is such a melee-focused comp. So we get to back away, and we're still no closer to knowing who steps away with the victory.
Oh, another fight's gonna brew though. Ultimately gonna miss from MLXG. Root there onto Shie, but he'll be safe. 957. Oh, that was a teleport somewhere.
He cancelled.
Ah. Okay, that cooldown's gone real quickly. I think Cosmic Insight might have something to say about that one. But it looks like Korea with the Baron up, gonna go straight to it. This is the play they couldn't quite find the first time around.
By the mini-map. I guess Misfortune is trying to take down the Ocean Drake in all of this.
Ooh, MLXG gonna pop away. There's the Drake, 957 with a feast. Able to do with that pretty comfortably, and now it's just a lopsided map here as far as where the objectives you want are. Remember, mid-inhib is still open on the Chinese All-Star side, so if something goes wrong, it's probably going to go wrong real quick. We could have ourselves the game 3, but the tenacity of this All-Star team to hold on to what's been a really tough game to try and crack teamfights in is impressive, but Korea still have a strong foothold in this one, and currently they are the ones around the Baron area.
But China now with 2 Ocean Drakes puts the game in kind of a peculiar situation. The teamfights certainly haven't been quick-paced time. They've been very extended with double Warmogs and double Ocean. Really to turn around and sustain after burst trade massive as Aussie Bubble does hit on Sejuani. He's spoken up.
Too many tanks. Looks like Shia is going to try and make something happen. Cosmic ready to dismiss. Good cask again. MLXG already too low as Mako. Gonna get rooted on the other side. A snipe from Prey finds MLXG. And that's going to be it for that team fight.
That does mean the smite is down. They're going to turn on to Baron. Cho'Gath has Flash and Feast available, but certainly not a reliable pickup. Feels like Korea want one more pick, and then they'll start the Baron.
Well, see what pressure can happen, but Shie could not find any way into that fight.
Baron's speed, not something to really write home about for Korea. Expecting there to be a bit of a turn. Baron at 8,000.
Yep. Need to peek in there, though. Oh, they pull off, looking for a pick. They find one. Mako presses in the plate away. Shie moves in, but he's got no squinching to try and assault Uzi. Back in though. No ulti ready for the MF, but that's already another kill for Prey. Mako falls down. 957 defensive flash to get away. And Faker's still going to chase. He's got so many flashes. 957 just has nowhere to run. And Faker on a rampage gets the next kill. Looking for Uzi, doesn't quite extend with the bubble over the bit of terrain. Uzi though on the run side. There when he's doing it. Oh my goodness, Uzi almost gets popped. She is going to go down to Faker, and Uzi cannot run from the free flash. Faker just going to chase him down.
Faker is running away with this game with the Zoe. We wondered in a more close game, what would Zoe show us? 6-1-6. Faker being the difference in these fights. Just like Misfortune couldn't be shut down 2 fights ago, this time the Zoe got to hop, skip, and jump with flashes aplenty. The kills followed through, and maybe finally it'll be the Baron.
And all without a lit bin. Faker playing what you might deem fair Zoe here in this game, but immaculate set of team fights there from him, and Korea will claim Baron in this game.
I shake my head pastry time because it feels like Zoe is doing Kassadin better than Kassadin himself is able to pull off, because otherwise the supporting cast around them is very, very similar. The interrupt happened on the bullet time earlier. We're following this fight. Korea are 5 men chasing on closest targets, so even the tanks aren't tanky enough to keep going. But it's Faker's inventiveness, specifically on Uzi after this all happens. Watch the paddle star coming through here. Misses the trouble bubble. Goes for the paddle star, hits the max range, almost one-shots Uzi. There was a Lich Bane, even a Sheen would have just been dead in that scenario, but picks up flashes after flash as the fight extends. Goodbye Uzi, and hello Korea, maybe going 1-1 in the series.
Yep, as good as dead after thieving that flash with the W. Prey also doing a lot of damage. People kind of underestimate the lethality AD carries sometimes in the late game, especially against big tanks, but you shoot them enough times, they're gonna die.
That probably applies to most.
Yes, well, that's level 1. Because again, Faker, long range bubbles through terrain. Just poking. Looks like he's got the paddle ports down as well.
But just like Korea have not been able to return to mid lane, we were talking about China's inability to return to the chunk turret in mid lane. It's been very difficult for both teams to actually cement objectives with the maximum, which does represent inhibitors, inhibitor turret. The inhibitor turret is getting so much earlier by Korea in that mid lane. Seeing them try to take down all the inner turrets, that's at least the medium level objective here for Korea.
Again, it may be more unconventional carries here for Korea as far as their team comps go, but the reality is, in a team fight, you want to win hard, you have to kill carries no matter what. We've really only seen tanks go down, with the exception of that last fight that led to that Baron for the Korean All-Star team. So you're kind of going to have to play defense for minute 30. And again, Waveclear not on the strong side here. GA not even there trying to take down the minis. He's going to leave that to Uzi and 957 and look for a flank.
Faye is not there, but has teleport up, of course. Looking in the top side for now. Faker playing with fire, doesn't have Zonia, so every time he pops in, can be CC.
Oh, another one going through. Looks like Mako trying to find it. GA does have Zonia's this time, but nothing to really find there. And again, the poke continues.
Not able to draw out the teleport either. Haven't seen a big chunk, and 957 in the back way with warm-up.
Bacon makes a big play there, flashing forward actually. Burnsy's real flash for that. Really going to get stunned up on the front side as a silence lands in. Double rupture's not bad, but Prey, he's ready with his ultimate. Going to try and knock some tanks down. Everyone just guarding 957. Mako eats the last hit and it's not pretty.
Just want to find some free time with either of the inhibitor turrets. Maokai still has a teleport. He's still not there. He's going to finally start hitting the top lane turret. Enough people have had to recall a couple of shots in this turret's dead.
Just short on that paddle staff of Faker to try and hit MLXG after that CC chain. Again, another Drowsy. Stuns are easy after that point. Mako locked up for a little too long. Cosmic Radiant's going to extend the team fight easily for Korea. And Cuvee now walking with a long-range ultimate. Going to try and get the ultimate flank happening. It's going to roll on over. Uzi doesn't quite get tagged with the inhibitor. Also dying in and amongst the mess. It does fall. Cuvee maybe a little too far forward. Korea don't want to lose too much on the rest of this play. Redemption though, he's going to reset things. The fight still going here as Mako barely going to live. Another great interrupt. Uzi just can't catch a break. And Prey moving forward, trying for 957. The root is going to get his ambition to kill is the kill. And slowly but surely, Korea are grinding through this front line.
Really feels like the tortoise and the tortoise. No hair in this game, pastry time. Everything is slow and steady. They can't return to the mid lane inhibitor they set up earlier. They do take the one in the bot side. They back away. Korea's one team fight away from closing the game.
And again, we identified level 1. Shoot them enough times and they will die, even if it takes a long time with tanks. Well, when you have most of the CC available to you, it is a lot easier to get more of those shots off. Korea, a long extended fight, finally slay the beast in 957, and they will be rewarded with the inhib in bot side and the Elder Dragon.
With 40 minutes on the timer or so, we've been able to come to some other conclusions. Zoe's consistent damage may not be as here, but it's been enough to carry what usually is expected to be a 2-burst threat comp on the side of Korea. It's been really well executed by Faker. Zoe living up to the billing. Very, very long extended fight here where you thought maybe the Maokai would go down. Got redemption as he went in with a twisted advance, and finally they picked up the first kill onto 957. No ability to close the game here. That was the truth. This is Zoe stronger than expected. That was surprising given that we already had her right up the top. The other thing we've learned is that when Korea are playing proactive comps, you see a very different story. Reactive in the previous game, reactive against the LMS, eventually bowled over. In a game like this where they tried to be proactive, Electrocute Gragas told you that they were thinking early game aggression. It's been a different story.
It really hasn't. It must be tough to China because with a Castle they still can't kill these carries. Big flank from MLXG though.
Just be spotted just about now.
Oh, Uzi also got chunked out. In fact, he might just be dead here. Everyone blocking. She even Riftwalk to protect his teammate. Needs to run away. Gonna make it back to the fountain out of the cone, but that will concede this mid inhib.
And that's fine. 3 inhibitors down. Cuvee took the top one earlier, so 3 inhibitors means ultimate turret defense here for China. The Baron spawns in a minute 20, no real way for them to contest it. They would love to close the game now if they can.
LXG is still on his mission, by the way. Still running through mid lane, looking to clamp this over. Xie also made it through. Again, need to get to those carries. Faker and Prey must die. He's going to try and win a team fight. Grinding through this is not going to work by the looks of things. Faker has a locket, by the way. That's pretty good in this last little push.
Just so he thinks.
Just so he thinks. Because again, just waiting for the minions to do the work for them. Elder Dragon buff still there for a little while longer.
Able to get pot shots, as you can see, very healthy.
Ooh, big ult fire, try and stun it through. It's nice, but again a good cancel for Ambition onto Uzi. Faker are getting low. They do get to Zoe. Now they need to try and take down Prey. Prey low, just go down to 957. The Catherine falls after the trade. Uzi though still alive. These tanks should be able to go down Gorilla. He's the first one. He's the most squishy as Uzi. Able to grab the double. And now Kuve, a Titan, a monument of health. So tanky, but finally he will be felled.
First ace of the game seems imminent. This tree is so damn tanky though.
I said he'd die. I didn't say how long it was going to take. There's the ace from MLXG. China with a miracle defense.
Found just about the sharpest axe to chop down the tree, but everyone going down early in the fight. This actually wasn't a teleport flank from Xie. He just went for a walk, realized that it was now or never. The ultimate is arming, but notice that Faker is not affected by the Cosmic Radiance. 100 units forward, 1 Teemo forward, and he gets the ability to live through it, but he gets burst down for once Xie finds his man. The trade works out though because Uzi is free hitting. It's not just a bullet time, it's auto attacks from the Misfortune for the first time in the game. And with 3 inhibitors down, with that ace, they actually get enough breathing room to actually take the Baron, although in the base, holy crap.
Base is in trouble as Mako and 957 plus Xie trying to do something. 2-man Baron is successful though, as we have officially met the longest game in All-Stars as Uzi cancels that one, but should be safe to get back. Actually gonna run back with those fancy boots.
I mean, any help they can get with killing these minions is useful. The Baron buff will be a delay tactic. You always wonder if teams get a bit close to the paint and think, is it time to go for the all-in? The P.E.K.K.A, of course. Not with a Kassadin this time, but no Lich Bane yet completed. The side of Faker, maybe not even going to be the item opted into. We'll see what Korea decides to do, because Baron taken off the map by the rush there from China. The Elder Dragon not spawning for a while, so for now, inhibitors start to respawn.
Back, actually, I think. Bottom comes back up, mid's very soon away. I think, unfortunately, that means the potential plan of Pop, Taric Ult, and Zerg the Nexus is off the table, briefly.
I mean, the other inhibitors are down, so you can still start rushing.
Oh, there's one more on top. I forgot about that one. That would explain why the base all died.
Yep.
Thought it was only 2. I was mistaken. Maths was never my strong suit.
Well, inhibitors down.
All right,
Second one down. Still one up in mid lane, so that's the third one. They still can look for the Zerg. They want minion waves here, though.
Yep, just gonna again meet the waves, poke down this inhibitor. No need to be impatient.
The thing is, though, at 45 minutes, the Zerg fails. 5 members die. You could actually reverse lose this game. Unlikely, just because of how long you'd have to travel, and super minions likely to be in multiple lanes, but becomes more and more of a consideration as the game goes on, and even taking down inhibitors is hard, but just Jhin and also the Zoe to actually get the range damage in.
Well, haven't been in esports all that long, but transitioning into losing your whole base is never good. Cosmic Radiant's gonna get popped. Uzi, he's being so patient, trying to bait the ulti out. They do get it.
Objective was smart there, get the ult, back away. Now Kassadin finds the back line. The squishy center, the Zoe will be assassinated. We'll see what Kassadin.
Ooh, re-engage. Xie actually not on the same page right now. Kuve again tanking it all. Needs to save everything, but it's just a little too chaotic. The rest of them will move forward. Xie, look at the assassination in the backline. 957, gonna run interference. Faker again, gets the damage down onto Xie, who's now forced to move out of the way. The tanks are slowly dying as the Stoneblade is popped by 957, but no one is gonna die here right now. Faker again, a bit more poke, but the Cho'Gath is just so tanky. Ambition re-engages, tries to find a carry, but that could be bad news. Bears Ambition getting so low. Let's it go again, and they do force a 5v4 ulti. Hits Bravely, Captain jacks the crap out of that one. And now Kuve forward, stunned him by the Sejuani. Faker still trying to find poke, but it's 957 and the rest of China will not be deterred.
Take a deep breath there, Page Time. These fights almost never end. Back with the Baron buff still. 40 seconds means they can start to push these waves out again. Finally, Mid inhibitor respawns, but they've lost top once again. Still going to be options for Korea, but inching forward is just that, inching. They are not able to get any shots on the Nexus. Take a deep breath, reassess. Korea looking for this 5v5 is not reliable when it's in the base, when the terrain does suit the defending team.
Not a whole lot of downtime though, as Baron is back up in not quite 10 seconds. Recall's being channeled by the Korean All-Star. Could open a window, but barely any vision for either team on the map right now.
And I just love the kind of hushed murmur of the crowd trying to really understand who really is in the driver's seat. If you look at the map, you think, yep, definitely Korea. They've got the inhibitors down. And you can't fully disagree with that point, but they are really struggling to find any sort of large advantage in the base. It's almost like they need the enemy to come and contest a Baron, an Elder Dragon, actually have flank routes exist for QV to get into the backline. Because backline access in the base, it's almost impossible.
Sidewave's also looking good at least, but now looks like Engage is going to be found. MLXG going to try and find something. Tanks getting kind of caught up in the top side, and Ambitious is so low. Finds the assassination. Uzi is going to let it rip one more time. Can't cancel with no cast. Cosmic Radiance used there by Gorilla, but again, another 5v4 with Ambition. Dead Faker almost one-shots Uzi as prey. He's trying to find a bit. Chie is going to force him away. And again, we re-engage. Defensive Sejol.
Remember, you don't want to chase China because the Warmogs and double Ocean Drake means they can turn around deceptively. Sure, Uzi out of the fight, but the tanks will be able to regen so insanely fast. What looks like a massive health bar advantage is very quickly eroded. And start walking around towards the spawn. Still 2 minutes till Elder Dragon comes. So that's what has happened kind of comically this series. One kill doesn't lead to much, but what I want to talk about is who the kill is on, because Ambition's job in fights is to kind of walk around and be tanky and interrupt bullet time. If they take him down, the bullet time will be uninterrupted. There's no one else who realistically can put a stop to that ability.
Certainly not safely. His Ambition is back in business here. Death time is getting long as the longest game in All-Stars continues to get longer.
Each time I thought we were done with stone plates. We have 3 in this game, which makes sense again given the level of burst on both sides. No Lichbane in the final items here, as a Banshee Veil is picked up by Faker just to be more respectful. The chance of Kassadin getting into the backline, the extra health and magic resist alongside the spell shield is important.
And you can see that it's definitely hurting Faker's ability to hurt these tanks with all these items built up now. Okay, goodbye, Blue Buff.
Well,
I'll miss you.
That's 6-item Kassadin for you.
Imagine if that was Prey or Faker. How quickly the game would end.
I think the Chinese fans are thinking exactly the same thing, Pastry Time.
And you can see total damage, but Faker is truly overperforming as far as damage numbers go.
And while there's been points where we've compared Zoe to Kassadin, it comes much more to ranged versus melee. Even though they have similar roles, you poke, you throw down a paddle star, you're not committing to it. Kassadin has to choose his spots, and it's been a lot of times where he's come in, seen his Cosmic Radiance, and like, well, I kind of did my job, I got a cooldown out, I'm not going to do any damage through this fight. So the damage numbers are naturally going to be high for a long-range poke champion.
Yeah, Kassadin's job has been made very difficult with the way Korea has approached these team fights. But again, trying to look at a kind of sidle up some engage here. Hib is not quite back in topside yet, but
Anyway, he's pushed out, so they have a bit of time to fish around for a pick.
Faker again just poking. Look for this key target, sleep on a 957, great poke.
And now 957 needs to be right in the back of the
Get out
fight,
of combat.
waiting for warm-ups. Exactly. So now he's no longer someone who can pick up this bubble easily.
Not going to take too long though. Mako, they're stunned up. Looks like a root in on the Chie, pops the Zonyas.
But he's going to be in one
Re-engage
spot.
Brand, Faker got stunned. Cosmic Radiance going to try and save the ball. Ball time from Uzi gets immune practically. And now Faker bounces back in. Chie chunked out so low, but the tanks are just fighting each other. Faker looking for the flex on the other side. Chie actually recalls. This means it's a 5v4 as Prey.
Or does he?
Forward. Chie looking to save the day. Play not going to find it though. No one dead just yet.
They got Faker!
Takes down Faker! And that might be enough. Knock up lands. Uzi takes down Gorilla and Prey. They're going to get chased down and killed. Everyone's going to go down here. Carries die on the Korean side. And that should be it. Kuve is going to fall, and that's an ace. So late into this game.
That means that with these long death timers, it might actually be the 2-0. Someone needs to answer these minions.
Minions going back 957 and Mako forced
They might just win it.
The minions,
Look at the
oh my
health
god,
on
it's too
Nexus.
much damage. I don't think they can
do it. They've got no carries. They're stunned
It's down!
but that's it. Everybody dead, and the game goes to Korea. My goodness.
Goes to the minions, pastry time, the Winions.